Welcome to the Black Men Think podcast. If this is your first time here, know that the views and opinions expressed by the Black Men Think podcast are those of the Black Men Think podcast and not the individual members. With that being said, we're about to be unapologetically, undeniably black. Enjoy.
All right, man. Black Man Think podcast where we elevate our black man because black man be out here thinking. I am your host, last name good. And to my right, I got to my left.
C Wiz.
Oh, I like how you did it.
Good job.
There we go. Yeah, we get it. Okay. To my right.
T-Mac, always here.
Yeah, we here, man. Shout out to Mo. Mo will be back next week sometime. But yeah.
Oh, no, not next week.
Oh, next week is
He'll be back.
New Year.
He'll be back the next episode.
Next episode.
Yeah.
There we go. Next episode. There we go. I like how you doing that right there. If y'all can't tell, if y'all like, man, y'all got on the same outfit y'all had last week. You know, holidays, bro. So we doing our due diligence. Just roll with the punches. Man.
This my leaving the house outfit, so you might always see this. Remind me.
Oh,
Trust me, I'm clean. I take showers.
You got to leave in the house outfit. Tell me about it, bro. What's going on?
Hey, suit. It was black, but it's like
Oh, but
charcoal,
I thought that was navy. Bro.
it used to be black, but it ain't been washed so many times. My slides, man,
yeah.
right in the garage. Hey, ain't no dressing up. Who am I here trying to impress?
Well, you know, I mean,
fans.
here's the thing, dog.
I subscribe
See,
to that.
hey, look, this is the thing about Corey, right? Because he don't get it yet.
Yeah.
I know what's going to happen. Corey going to go viral, and then he going to be like, hold on, why I got that on? That was going to happen. That was going to happen.
He gonna be suited and booted.
Yeah. Corey gonna be the one get 1 million. We gonna finally get that one post do 1 million. And Corey like, bro, man, why y'all told me like I got my toes out there? See, we really homeboys kicking it in the crib, so sometimes you know we'll do that extra step. But yeah, man, you know, we here, Black Man Think podcast. Hey, first off, make sure y'all subscribe to Patreon. Make sure y'all subscribe to the podcast. If this is your first time here, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
But make sure y'all subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. If you want bonus content, you can go to Patreon right now and subscribe to Patreon. Hey, also, we do voicemails on our Ask a Black Man segment, 404-939-6477. Throw your voicemail in there and we'll see what it do. Tori had a great topic tonight. We ain't doing no sip of the week because we don't have no sponsor. So, boom. There you go. If you want to do a sip of the week with Black Man Think podcast, DM us, send us an email, or hell, even do the voicemail, and we'll hear it on the voicemail.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, topic you had tonight, brother.
So I thought it would be a good, as we're trying to close out this year, that we talk about legacy, like leaving a legacy, and what does that really mean for black men today. You know, I think we talk about a lot of other things, but we don't talk about, well, we really also need to talk about life past us as well and what that means. So, man, I think that this is a great time as we're trying to close out 2025, talk about, you know, legacy. And what did it mean for a black man.
No, that's great, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. For me, bro, legacy is everything. I think legacy is one of those things that even before I really considered it and thought about it, it's the one thing that I've been doing since I've been, if I'm being, the first thought came when I was probably like 16, 17. But I didn't get serious, of course, until like, you know, I had a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's just like, yo, what are you leaving these kids?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, while I don't agree with everything this guy say, he did say something one time that was profound to me. It was just like, bro, I'm hustling for my last name. Dame Dash said this, by the way, but it was like, I'm hustling for my last name. And, you know, I think it's something that sometimes we take for granted, bro, because like we live in this world where everything are labels, but if you peel back those layers on those labels, most of the time those labels are names.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the bank that you go to, Wells Fargo, those are two people's last names. You know what I'm saying? Like though that everything that we do, even if it's, you know, we talk about Facebook, like that's owned by somebody. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
right.
Stuff that's like ingrained in our life, like the iPhone, that somebody started that. There's a legacy. Steve Jobs will forever be etched in stone with the legacy of innovating the cell phone.
Right.
And it's so like, it's one of those things where I don't take that lightly, bro. Like I want to make, and honestly, I can say that if I'm looking on one side of it, I've built a legacy on one thing, but now it's like trying to build a legacy somewhere else.
Right.
Right. Like I know that I can say that I've from 2012 up into 2025, I've supported artists. And like I built the legacy and built the name there, but it's like now it's time to do something,
Right.
build a name somewhere else. And so my thing is, bro, I don't take it lightly. Like it's a real responsibility for me. And my thing is, I just want my kids to, whether they realize it now, I just want them to be able to look back when it's all said and done. We're just like, I'll put it like this. One of the things I would love to happen is that my kids are good no matter where they go.
Right.
Because they dad, you good, kid?
Yep.
They good. Like that's, no matter where they go, they should be able to walk in any building and anywhere and be okay because of what I built. And that's what I do it for.
Right. Yeah, and I think also how we need to make sure that we're framing it, just for the listeners, is that, when we talk about legacy, it's more than just money. It's about that impact. It's about those morals. It's also about those intangible things as well.
Absolutely.
And so, like you said, you're talking about that reputation, right? And I think the three of us come from the era to where especially with the areas we come from, like you what's your son? Aren't you?
Right.
So it's that leaving that like for your kids, like I know you. I know your work ethic. I knew your dad. And I know if your dad did X, Y, and Z, I know you got that same stock. And so how do you go about trying to, because there's two parts of it, right? There's that external part of it to where, to where you're doing things and making an impact in the community or in whatever sphere you are. What's the teaching moments that you do for your daughters so that they can help transition that?
Man, that's a great question, bro. Like I found myself doing it and didn't realize I was doing it. Like my wife was bringing to my attention that I was doing some stuff. So like, and y'all heard me talk about on the pod before, like my oldest is very, very competitive, very much a straight shooter and very much she trying to win at all costs.
Right.
My youngest is more of like she's into her emotions. So like, there are times where she gets into her feelings a little bit more than my oldest do. And so, my oldest kind of can say some things that'll rub everybody the wrong way, but she don't mean anything about it. It's just who she is. And so like today, one of the perfect examples where they had like, they had awards at school. And so my youngest, this is her first time getting awards because she's in kindergarten, but she came away with like 3 awards, right? Like, so she had like, and I was so proud of her. Like she had a literary award where it was just 2 people on stage and she was one of the 2 people.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, man, that was just beautiful to see. In all of kindergarten, it was just her and another girl who like the top readers, you know what I'm saying? And so, and she got 2 other awards, one for like math and one for like, all A's or something like that. And Jade got one of the top. She was the only person that made all A's in all of 2nd grade, and she got another award, like a literary award. But when she saw Noelle, she was like, "Hold on, Noelle got 3 medals. I only got 2." And then I knew it was coming. Like this is the thing, like because I know my children, so I was like, okay, Noelle got 3 awards, all right. And their award ceremony was like 30 minutes apart, but we just stayed there for both of them. And so I was like, okay, Jade only got 2 awards. This is gonna be a problem. So Jade is walking down because my wife went and got her, and she came down. She saw Noelle with 3 medals, and she almost lost it. And
What she do?
she was like, Noelle has 3 medals. No, this is not going to happen today. And then I stopped her and was just like hey, this is your sister's first time getting medals.
Yeah.
I was like, you should congratulate your sister on
Right.
this is her first time. Like you
Right,
got
right.
plenty of medals upstairs. Like your sister's never got it. Like this is her first like real award. And in that moment, you know, she realized like, oh, this ain't the time to compete. This
Yeah.
is the time to be like, support my sister. And like I saw her turn it off where she would her normal reaction is to be like, oh hell no.
Yeah.
You know,
she got to win.
I gotta win. You know what I'm saying? But when we kind of like, I was just like, just a quick second, forget about winning because you already won. Like there are kids that didn't get anything.
Right.
You came away with 2 awards. You know what I'm saying? And then you actually got the top award. You the only person that made all A's, Jake. You did it. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, you ain't got to compete with your sister. Like y'all got to be building each other up. You know what I'm saying? And so in that moment, I was proud of her because she caught herself and she realized like, okay,
Right.
I'm proud of you. So, and they, you know, she embraced her, gave her a hug, and like I just saw Noelle get so. It was such a relief because my Jay's initial reaction, she was getting ready to tense up and cry, and then when Jay was like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you," it was just like, "Oh, thank you." So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was a big moment for them. You know,
Yeah.
a big moment. Yeah.
So then for you, Corey, then you know, kind of changing a tad bit is, so if legacy isn't just about what you're leaving behind, right?
The tangibles.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's also about how you live right now. What changes then?
What changes?
Like what changes in your thought process for it?
The fact that how I live can have an impact on somebody else. Like, what am I doing what are the things that I may be doing now that can mislead somebody? And like, you know, that can leave a lasting impact on somebody. It's just like, if I have a child in the car, it's like, I try not to, you know, I mean, don't have my phone in my hand because something as simple as that, like, okay, a child see an adult driving with the phone in the hand. So simple things that make sure you got your seatbelt on. Like,
Yeah.
it's because the things even though I don't have kids, but I know that kids pay attention to the smallest little
do,
thing.
bro.
Yeah.
And you may not think that they're paying attention, but they are. But getting back to on the intangibles, like, I think legacy is those core beliefs, those values, those things that gonna, you know, that can take you far in life. Having a good attitude, like things of that nature. That besides the money, this, that, and the other, of course you want to leave that, but at the end of the day, I mean, if you have those core beliefs, values instilled in the people that you had an impact upon, they can go out and get the money.
Right.
That, you know, that stuff can come along. You can't go out and buy integrity.
Right.
You can't go out and buy trust and honesty and all those things like that. So I think that's important when I'm thinking about legacy. Like, what are things that people, sometimes I have weird thoughts, like, even though I'm not the type of person where I want, we were talking about earlier about, you know, losing loved ones, this, that, and the other. Sometimes I think about, like, okay, if I'm just curious about if you haven't, if there's a funeral for me, even though I don't want a funeral, I'd rather have like some kind of memorial service, but that's a different topic.
Right.
What would somebody say about, you know, in a eulogy? Like, what would they say about you, or what would they say about me? So those are things I think about, like, you know, those are the things that, you know, that's a legacy. Things that is going to still be here when you're gone,
Right.
when you're absent from the body.
Right. Now, I totally agree, because I know for me, when I think about legacy, it's about, you know, some of the things that I want people to remember me by is like me being a present father.
Yeah.
Me being in the life of my kids. Me, you know, making sure that my kids are good and that they have the things that they need to be productive members of this society, right? But I think also another part of it is, and I think this is some of the things that we talked about in past episodes, but not really delve deep into it. But I like to, you know, spend a few minutes here to talk about is breaking that generational patterns. Because I think that, to me, is is an ultimate legacy because you broken some of those chains, broken some of those things that have held us back. What are some of those generational patterns that you think that we can focus on that you see, that are common or not necessarily common, but you see a lot in the Black community, JD?
Man, look, bro. For me, until you learn how to do different than your parents, different than your grandma,
Yeah.
bro, we can't advance unless we do something different.
Yeah.
Like, and that's, man, shout out to my wife, bro. Like, she is so pivotal of our family unit, just like breaking away from some of the norms, right? Like, she, even if like the smallest thing, like my wife would be like, man, why we cooking turkey? Like, let's do seafood boil or something. Like, just, even something as small and simple as that is just like showing something different. Like, when she went to the point of saying like, hey, we should just start taking our kids somewhere for Christmas as opposed to buying all these gifts that they ain't gonna care about. Things like that, like giving just stuff like that, man, that it's just changing. And it's gonna always be pushback.
Right.
Like, I mean, I get pushback from my mom all the time when I tell her about that we're doing something, and it's just like, why y'all doing that? Like, it's like, hey, mom, no disrespect. And I say this with absolutely no disrespect. You did the best you could with the tools that you had. I got different tools. And the tools that I got to do different things. It's really that simple. Like, my mom and dad, my dad has been a business owner his whole life. My mom like worked in the medical field and then got injured and didn't work again. And like, for me, y'all did the best y'all could with what y'all had. Right. And I love and appreciate that because everything that y'all did shaped me who I am now. Y'all put me in the proper schools that made me get into music and get into media, all of that stuff because y'all looked at and saw gifts that I had and said, like, you need to do this. And so I'm very appreciative of the things that my parents did. But I was like, there's a lot of stuff y'all did that I'm not going to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, and it's simple as that. And it's not even one of those things where you got to go back and forth. You just got to be stern on like, hey, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
And I think as soon as you realize who you are as a person, and Corey mentioned it earlier, like, yeah, those core values got to be there. But some of that stuff like, hey, we ain't doing that. And you got to just say, we're not doing it. Even if you got to be the first one.
Right.
To be that we're not doing this like how, like, yeah, I know your grandma did it and your great grandma did it. That's cool.
Right.
No disrespect to great grandma.
Right.
That's how we doing it now.
Correct.
I'm building on what y'all started. I'm adding on to what y'all started. Y'all laid the foundation. Now let me build the rest of this damn house. You know what I'm saying?
And I think something that has helped it, but also probably harmed it. And Corey, I want you to try to touch on it. Is how do you think social media has distorted the idea of success and legacy? Because now it's everybody like for clicks and likes and
But
things.
success is microwave, pop it in there and it's done in 2 minutes. They skip over the struggles, the late night, late night, early mornings, it took me 15, 20 years before I got where I was. It's stuff is so, people want it so quick.
Instant gratification.
Exactly. They don't want to put in the work.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you put in the work and really earn something, I think you appreciate it more rather than when you just get it. Wow, I got all this success now, and I don't know how to be as grateful for it. But yeah, I mean, what was the other part about social media? You said
like how has it distorted it? Like from the standpoint of the idea of what success and legacy looks like.
Yeah. So as far as legacy, I'm trying to see. I don't know if I have much on that. How does social media plays into?
Well, I help you out a little bit. I think that sometimes that people forget that your digital footprint is forever.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna leave
Yeah.
a different type of legacy that you didn't even you didn't think you was even leaving, right?
Yeah.
Because now, you know, in the era of everything is recorded,
Yeah.
everything is recorded.
Yeah.
So the mistake you made 10 years ago is going to still be a mistake
Yeah.
that people can visibly see, as opposed to, you know, before all of the proliferation with technology and things of that nature, you know, you can overcome it a little bit better, right?
Right.
And so I think, excuse me, from that standpoint, I think it is just, it is impacting the legacy of what you will really want to leave.
Yeah.
Because technology is agnostic of an individual growing and maturing.
Okay.
It just shows the individual. It doesn't provide any type of context. It just shows the individual. But I think, you know, as our parents and as us, you know, we've grown up to where people are like, oh, he was just young then.
Yeah,
You know, before all of this, before all this technology stuff. He was just young. He didn't understand.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Now is, oh, you losing sponsorships.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you
we
losing.
got receipts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
so
I
it's
didn't
totally
think
different.
about. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, because there are stuff that we hear about people, that, you know, that we look up to, leaders and stuff. We hear of these stories,
Yep.
but we only can imagine what, you know, what really happened. But when you got videos or clips
Yep.
and you can actually look at it, you're like, oh, this
Yeah.
really did, and it can
Exactly.
change how you look at somebody.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Even though they've changed, you know, hopefully for the better. But yeah, no, I see exactly what you're saying now.
So does that mean that? Well, what would you see as some barriers there for Black men, and what we face in trying to leave a legacy? What would you guys look at? Because I sometimes can think about our survival mode versus long term. Because, you know, I think that those two are two different dynamics, and I think that those could sometimes be barriers, because
Yeah.
especially when you're in
Yeah.
that survival mode, definitely.
So-
what are your thoughts?
One thing I'll say to that, bro, and it's something that I've been learning just probably within the last couple of years, just on this journey of complete entrepreneurship, is that I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I've always had different businesses that I've had. But the reality is everything that I did up until 2022 has been hustle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's been survival mode.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
been doing whatever I got to do to make sure I got what I need
Right.
to survive.
Right.
Right? It wasn't until like really 2021, 2022 where I really started to look at everything differently, like look at stuff like true business, true building a legacy. And so when your mind switched from survival mode to like systems, everything changes, because now you're not looking at, now you're saying no to stuff that doesn't fit into your system.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was a time where, I mean, how much you say? 125? Yeah, I do that. Now 125 don't make sense to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to say that on no braggadocious or anything like that. It's just like, bro, back then 125 I left the house for. Now it doesn't make sense to leave the house for 125 because I got a vending machine that'll make 125 today.
Right.
So why am I leaving the house to go in? And then there are people that and it's crazy now because my mindset is completely different. I can pinpoint the people that are in survival mode. And so I can see that people who, oh, you don't know your rate. You don't know your value. So you just do whatever, bless you. You're just doing whatever because you're just trying to get it.
Right. Right.
Versus like, if you just told this person no, tomorrow they'll come back and tell you 300.
Yep.
But you don't want to tell them no because you're in survival mode. You think like, oh, I got to get it. I got to go and get it because like they offering it. I was like, cool, tell this person no. So the next person you can say yes to. But if you keep telling the person that's 125 yes all the time, then that person going to tell the next person, oh yeah, bro, 125. And then they're going to tell the other person, yeah, you 125. Not knowing that they had a $500 budget.
Yeah.
But you said yes to the 125. So now he looking very favorable in his boss eyes because his boss saying like, "Damn, you saved me $375."
Yeah. So, and I don't know if we can answer this question, but I think we can. What were we never taught about legacy growing up? Because I don't know if, I was thinking about this question earlier. I don't ever remember my dad or anybody in my family just really sitting me down and talking about legacy, right?
I know.
You know, we all had the black man conversation about, hey, will you be the police officer, X, Y, Z, right?
Yeah.
But about legacy, I was never. That question to me was like, I don't even know if we were really taught about legacy.
Legacy, credit, bro. You can name a whole bunch of stuff that things that you weren't taught that you're better equipped now to tell your kids, or even not even your kids, somebody else in life. But no, that we didn't. I mean, I know I didn't. I didn't have those conversations. Luckily, just being around the right people. Growing up, you know, once again, that's an impact upon their legacy, because the things that rubbed off on me from them, you know, I can do the same thing for somebody else. Yeah. So I mean, those conversations, they weren't coming up when I was growing up.
Not at all, bro.
Luckily, I took the road less traveled, but but one thing I wanted to go back, touch on what you were saying, when you want to make sure, when you said you was in survival mode, I think that's where the legacy that your dad or anybody else or any other people that were in your life, they left those core values, integrity, because you were in survival mode, but you weren't out here trying to cut corners or do anything unethical, illegal, you know, I'm in survival mode. You know, a lot of time when you say survival mode, hey, I'm trying to get it how I can get it, however that come, you know, you weren't trying to get over on people.
That's a great point. That's a real great point. And truth be told, it may not be survival mode for me. It may have just been not understanding my value.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's a great point, because you're right. I've seen people in true survival mode where it don't matter. Anybody can get it. You know what I'm saying? So no, I feel that. Yeah,
I think you're totally right, because I think legacy to me is about pouring in, right? You know, survival mode, you can't pour into nothing. You really can't build a legacy because you just focus on surviving, right? And so I think that definitely it is. That leads me to this. One of my final questions I have for you guys. What does legacy mean to you, JD? What does legacy mean to you, Corey? And how are you going to be intentional about ensuring that daily you are moving towards that definition?
Yeah. I mean, for me, bro, legacy is legit. Like I said earlier, just like your last name, bro. Like when I decided to say last name good, it was very intentional. Because my last name is not good. My last name, you know, when somebody was like, oh, your last name? I was like, no, actually my last name is Goodwin. But I say last name good because I really feel that my last name should be good no matter where I go.
That's your brand.
That's my brand. And so everything is a lot of people probably don't even think about that. They just think like, oh man, like you just playing off a good one. Like, no. Last name good came because I want my last name to be good no matter where I go. Any building I walk into, any city that I go into, any Martin Luther King Boulevard I'm on, my last name should be good enough to where you know who I am, you know what I'm doing, you know what I'm about, and that should be it. I like I said, I want to be able to go into a place where if I go in my pocket, you tell me, you good, bro. Like you good.
Not only that, bro, you good and you gonna win. Give me credit for that, man.
Facts. Facts.
That was tight.
That was tight.
And I'm
I like
win.
that.
So I can't lose.
Can't lose, bro. Like and that's really what it's about, bro. Like just building something, and you mentioned it earlier, like building something with integrity where people know that you ain't trying to get over on people.
That goes a long way, man.
It goes a long way. Like I know I can say definitively that I've never tried to screw anybody over.
Yes.
Now, people might feel completely different, but I can assure you that if you feel that way about me, then there was a misunderstanding somewhere.
Definitely.
I know that wasn't my intention. You know what I'm saying? And like because that's just what Corey said it. Like I was brought up in a way like, bruh, if you try to screw over somebody today, you just gonna get screwed over later on down the road.
It ain't worth it, man.
It ain't worth it. It that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, you might get over on this person today, and that person may not even be the one that get over on you later on. But eventually, somebody's gonna do what you did to them. So it's just like I've lived my life Like, bro, if I say I'm gonna do something, that's my word. I'm gonna do it. And if I can't do it, I'm gonna let you know that I can't do it. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? Like that's what it's about.
Gotcha. So Corey, what's one thing you want people to say about you?
Man, it doesn't matter where you see me. Like, you're gonna know that it's honesty. Is honest, trustworthy. All those core beliefs. It was just, for example, I was thinking about when we were down for homecoming, just randomly, man. Like, I mean, I could have been doing whatever, but two of my church members, they didn't even go to Georgia State. Their niece was on the homecoming court. I look up,
wow.
there they go. I'm like, see, man, that's one thing where it's just like, man, I always try to be an example. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Yeah.
I always try to be an example because somebody's always watching.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
No, that's good.
It was a quote from a fortune cookie. I don't know if I still have it. It said, man, what did it say? It said something about someone is always watching. Don't let that person down. Yeah.
That's facts because somebody always is
Always.
watching. And I think for me, one of the things that, from a legacy standpoint, from a culture, from a black man thing, the one thing that I would like to change if I had a magic wand, is for black men to really help other black men out more.
Yeah.
Especially in the corporate world. I think because it's not enough to just one person in there.
Yeah.
It's not enough. The real impact, the real legacy is how many you bring along with you.
Yeah.
And I wish I could change that for a lot of, especially, and I'm not trying to knock them, for a lot of older black men. They want to say, pull yourself up by the bootstrap. Well, you didn't necessarily make it there off that bootstrap. You think you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you didn't. But the thing about it is, it's not, excuse me, I'm trying to not come down with something. It's not always about that. It's not always about what you're capable of. It's sometimes about providing somebody the opportunity to show you what they can do.
Yeah.
Right? Because you could, if you judge a book by its cover, you never read it, you never, engage with it, you never really can see its full potential.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it is with people, is that we shouldn't be so, you need to pull yourself up. This is a new time, a new age, and new things. We don't need to do things, like you said earlier, the same way we used to do things.
Exactly.
You got to work 15 years here. No. Some people can really get into a role and learn that role and do that job even better than what you ever expected.
That's a bar.
I think for us as a black men, if we're in positions and spheres of influence to where we can, give another one a try. Let them try to succeed.
Yep.
That's a fact. Ask a black man.
Ask a black man.
Here we go.
Hey, fellas. My name is Hezekiah Galloway. I really love the show. And I wanted to ask you, as someone who was working in construction, being in a rough and tough environment, now transitioning into the engineering field where it's a little bit more corporate, a little bit more polished, how does one make that transition from, the rough and tough nature and being able to say and do as they please to really managing that professional and keeping everything polished? It's been, a slight struggle for me, but, I think the insight that you fellas provide on your show would really help me out. Once again, love the show. Have a great day.
Oh, that's a great question,
Yeah,
Hezekiah.
that's a good one.
I think one of the things that not even just about corporate America. At the end of the day, you need to make sure that you can remain true to yourself. However that looks and however that is exemplified in these various environments is a different conversation. But you need to have that one thing or two things that ground you. And you also need to know realistically, as you're transitioning into more of a corporate role, there is corporate etiquette, there is corporate politics, and there is a corporate culture.
Yep.
if you want to play the corporate game, you got to understand the corporate rules.
There you
and
go.
you got to play by them. It is just and I hate to say it, but that's just as short and sweet as it is. Because at the end of the day, there's somebody that owns that corporation that expects X, Y, and Z, and so you got to adhere to that. Now, if you out here doing your own thing, you got your own thing, that's totally different. But you need to come into it like, hey, there are certain expectations of what I have to do. And then there are certain things to where you are given the ability to put your own influence on it. But you also have to remember that it is a structure and there are guardrails around it. And you just have to play within those rules.
Yep. No, those are good points. I was gonna speak definitely on that culture. Every company is different. So pretty much getting with the program regarding the culture is going to be important. But I would say also get you a mentor. Find somebody you can look up to at work that that can keep it real with you about how things are functioning. I mean, going from construction to engineering, I'm sure the engineering is probably a more corporate structure than the construction. But yeah, you hit it head on with the culture. That's definitely important.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of speak from the opposite because I think what they said is like that's exactly where you're going to be. That's where you need to be. For me, I am somebody that realized that I don't fit well in the corporate structure. And a lot of that just had to do with I don't it's not that I don't like being told what to do. It's just that I look at the business in totality and I can look at things and realize like, okay, there are holes in this, there are holes in that. And if I see the hole in something, I want to challenge it, but that doesn't fit well in it doesn't fit well in the position that I was in. I'll say that.
Right.
Like, I think the mentality that I had when I was in corporate America fit more for somebody that was in a C-suite position, but I didn't have a C-suite position. So I was thinking on a level that I wasn't there at, you know what I'm saying? And so that could easily be seen as combative, like not following the corporate structure, so to speak, right? And so me personally, I think for you going somewhere where you're kind of really working for yourself, almost like even though construction, you're working with somebody, but there's a lot of freedom. You have guidelines and things that you're following, but for the most part, bro, you're doing what you're supposed to do every day. And then when that's done, as long as your job is done, everybody happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so with that corporate structure, bro, you got to do exactly what Corey and Tori said, but just an additional layer on that, you got to find identity in where you are and know that what I'm finding out now that I'm not in that structure is using what I learned in the corporate structure to help me in the entrepreneurial structure. So for you, you can use what you learned on the construction side to work on the engineering side. So where that is like that freedom of expression, that freedom of working and having identity, you can bring that in the corporate structure. It's just all about making sure that you're aligned with the culture of the company that you're working at, right? Like there are opportunities for you to have a freedom of speech, so to speak, and speak freely on a lot of different things, but you just got to make sure you're doing it within the culture of that company.
Facts.
So just to break that down even further, there are people at your job who you know that you can say certain things to. There's also people at your job that you know that you can't say certain things to. Figure out who those people are and talk in that way to that person. Not bad mouthing anything, but that find that freedom in that person where you can talk to like, hey, what if we did things that way? Because that person knows how, okay, I took your feedback. Let me take what you said over here when I remix it and put it in the way that it needs to be spoke to like the other people. And so you're going to have challenges, man. Like that's just any new situation that people are in, there are going to be challenges. But I think the fact that you realize that there are challenges and trying to figure out ways to operate within that structure, you're going to be good.
Yep.
You're going to be good, man.
Yep.
Cool. That was it on that. That was it. All right, cool. Well, look, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Black Men Think Podcast. Make sure if you want to leave voicemails, call us 404-939-6477. Also, if you want bonus content like behind the scenes banter, us talking about the episode, us planning corporate retreats and Black Man Think retreats, all of that good stuff, we talk about that on Patreon. You can join Patreon right now and get all of that bonus content. Years of content is on Patreon. Y'all can go ahead and do that. But yeah, Black Man Think podcast, where we elevate our black men, because black men be out here thinking. We'll see y'all next week. Yeah.
The Black Men Think Podcast.